Ed Chung joins us now. Ed's Vice President of Initiatives at the Vera Institute of Justice, former senior advisor at the Department of Justice under President Obama. I think the question from here, Ed, and welcome, is this it, or is there a lot more to come between now and January 20th? And if so, what types of pardons and or commutations do you think we'll see from here on out?
Well, I think that really depends on where the administration is. I think certainly from our perspective here at the Vera Institute of Justice, there's more to be done. These commutations that were issued today, first of all, it's incredibly great news, especially for the 1,500 or so people. Many of them you mentioned, including the pardons, but they were of a class that were specific, as you mentioned, to those who were released from behind bars to home confinement during an emergency mandate or emergency situation during the pandemic. There are many more petitions that can and should be reviewed on an expedited basis by the president and his team. And so there can be more to do if the political will is there.
Do you think, speaking of political will, that it is there, or that some of the political pressure that is on the president, albeit on his way out here at 82 years of age, I don't know how much attention he's paying to that political pressure, but on the pardon of his son certainly got a lot of attention. Now there's all this talk, will he preemptively pardon some people that the Trump administration could potentially go after? So that's getting a lot of attention. Is it overshadowing some of the work that you're looking at?
Yeah, it could be, but I think one of the issues here is first, this type of commutation when it comes to the folks that are in home confinement due to the CARES Act, this could have been done a while back. Good news that they're being done now. But there are other pushes that are being made. We just saw, for example, a tweet by the Pope recently talking about what should happen with people who are right now on death row and potentially facing execution. And in those situations, those are very serious situations. But on that, as well as this on CARES Act releases and those in home confinement who received commutations, this is not a left issue. This is a left, right, and non-ideological issue. People across political lines, people across ideological lines are in favor of this, because it is not just a justice issue. It certainly is. It's both a justice and safety issue. And that's why there is a lot of push from both sides, from all across the aisle, on these types of actions.
All right, well, we have some time. We'll see what happens now between now and essentially January 20th or January 19th, depending on how the president plays things. Thank you, Ed. Ed Chung with us today on an important issue, and again, sometimes gets overshadowed by the big political stories. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.